Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the National Timely Action Hour podcast. This is the show where we talk about everything from Star Wars to comic books and everything in between. My name is Aiden, and I hope that you're doing well today. I am myself. So, today we are on Season 2, Episode 22, ranking the best Jedi. Now, this is just my opinion. Feel free to disagree with me. But, number 1 will be most powerful, and number 10 will be not as powerful, but I still like them. Now I'm going to go from number 10 down to 1. I'm going to make it a countdown. So, number 10, we have Ayla Secura. Ayla Secura is a female Twi'lek who first appeared in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. And she has only a few minutes of screen time in that film, and then the next time we saw her was in the original Clone Wars show, which does give her a little bit of character development. And we see her fight General Grievous and barely survive, which was an awesome scene. And I recently rewatched that show. And then we see in Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, her death at the hands of the Stormtroopers. And in the 2008 rebooted, revived, yeah, rebooted Clone Wars show, we get a bit more character development on her, and it's pretty cool. And she had a blue lightsaber which matched her blue skin, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I just think she's an interesting character. With a lot of these characters, you can get more character development if you watch the animated shows and read the comic books and novels that feature them, because some of them don't get too many scenes in the films. Excuse me. So at number 9 we have Kit Fisto. Now Kit Fisto is a cool character, and he is basically a squid man, and he has a green lightsaber which matches his green skin. So again, that's pretty cool. And he again has a lot of development in the books and the TV series, but I just think he's a very, very cool character who did not deserve his death. Then at number 8 we have Mara Jade Skywalker. Now Mara Jade was the wife of Luke Skywalker, and since the Disney acquisition she is no longer part of their canon, but I really wish that they would bring her back, because the way that they handled Luke as an older man really, really hurt my feelings and sucked for us long-time fans of the character and Star Wars in general, because he's the main character. So if you ruin him, then you ruin the series. It's fucking horrible. Anyway, I really wish the sequel trilogy was better, but unfortunately it's not. So Mara Jade was raised by the Emperor as an assassin, and she, thanks to retconning, she was there off screen, but in Jabba's palace when he was going to rescue Han. And so that was the first time she saw him, and she, after the Emperor's death, she wanted to kill Luke as revenge for his hand in killing the man who raised her and abused her, but that's neither here nor there. But they briefly fought, then she got to talking with him, and she fell in love with him and joined his new Jedi Order, and they got married and had a few children. And then their nephew, Anakin Solo, fell to the dark side and murdered her. So Mara Jade is a very interesting character, and she's integral to the post Return of the Jedi world, and I really wish that they would bring her back into the new canon. Then we have at number 7 Ahsoka Tano. Now Ahsoka Tano first appeared in the 2008 animated film Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and I remember seeing that in the theater and instantly liking the character. She was just cute, fun, sweet, and a badass. And Yeah, she was Anakin Skywalker's apprentice during the Clone Wars, and I don't really want to get into spoilers for that for people who haven't seen the show, but it she has a heartbreaking story, and I've been watching the Rebels show. It's not the best show, but there are some good moments in it, which make it worth it. And they recently brought her into the live action Star Wars world with The Mandalorian, and she's getting her own live action show on Disney Plus. And at the time of recording, it is not yet out, but let's see how that turns out. So at number 6, we have Plo Koon. So Plo Koon is very cool. He is from a species whose name I forget, but he is about 200 years old by the time he dies in Revenge of the Sith. And again, we get more character development with the shows and books. But he is very strong in the Force, and he was a member of the Jedi Council, and he had a yellow lightsaber. So that was pretty cool. And he was probably on par with Yoda when it comes to both skill with the blade and skill with controlling the Force. But Yoda had more experience because he was centuries older than Plo. But he was really cool. Then at number 5, we have Mace Windu. Now, Mace Windu is one of the coolest characters, in my opinion. Excuse me, he first appeared in The Phantom Menace, and he was played by Samuel L. Jackson, who just brings a lot of charisma to his characters and a lot of weight and gravitas to them as well. So, when I first saw the prequel trilogy, I really liked Mace, and because I knew that Anakin was going to turn to the dark side, so seeing him be hard on Anakin just compounds that. So, and then throughout the books and comics and TV shows, he gets more development. But Mace has a purple lightsaber, which means he's balanced in the Force between both the light side and the dark side, which is really cool. And Mara Jade also has a purple lightsaber. And I remember when I was at a summer camp when I was a kid, I was playing, Star Wars, like we were pretending we were the characters with some of the other kids there, and I was pretending to be Mace Windu, and then I pretended to be Luke and Anakin and Obi-Wan. But yeah, Mace is just a really cool character, and yeah, I was really sad when he died. Then at number 4, we have Anakin Skywalker. Now, Anakin, we all know his story. We've seen the films and the shows and all that. And, yeah, he's just cool. Then at number 3, we have Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, Obi-Wan is awesome. He is wise and a skilled fighter, very attuned with the Force. And, yeah, he shepherds both Anakin and Luke throughout their journeys, and it's interesting. Then at number 2, we have Yoda. Now, Yoda, being the wise old Grand Master of the Order, who has lived for 900 years before his death in Return of the Jedi, has seen basically everything. He was trained in the first 100 years of his life from his master. Then, for the next 800 years, he would train Jedi, and then he would die. But Yoda was very skilled. He mastered all 7 forms of lightsaber combat. He had a green lightsaber, which matched his skin. And he had basically every Force power that we see. So he was really cool. Then at number 1, we have Luke Skywalker. Now, Luke, being the main character of Star Wars, obviously, we see him grow from just a simple farm boy longing for something better to being the greatest Jedi in the history of the galaxy, because he trains with 2 of the greatest masters, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda. he only had a few weeks of training with Obi-Wan, and after his death, he read Obi-Wan's journal, so he got some more knowledge from that, uh, and in his journal he taught Luke how to build his own lightsaber, which is how Luke got his lightsaber in Jedi. And Yoda trained him for a couple of months, and within that time he taught him all seven forms of lightsaber combat. He taught him all about the Force, and he taught him, life lessons and all that. So we only see the highlights in the film, but in the novels and comics they expand on that and talk about how it may not have been years like Obi-Wan got training from Yoda, but he still had enough time to win. Well, to lose in Empire, but to win in Jedi. He lost in Empire because he went off cocky. You've seen the film, you know why he lost. But yeah, Luke, after defeating the Emperor and Darth Vader, he goes on to form a new Jedi Order. He falls in love with Mara Jade. They have children, and he learns from the mistakes of the past and improves. So that's really cool. But then Disney came along and ruined it. So, but those are the 10 best Jedi, in my personal opinion. There are a few that I really wanted to put on the list, but these are the main ones I really like. So that's really all I have for you today. Thank you so much for listening to the National Timely Action Hour podcast. Once again, my name is Aiden. Thank you so much for listening, and I sincerely hope that you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.